This is a standard agency website. Boring, zero creativity, and the same as all of your other competitors. These are the types of agency websites that I'm going to teach you how to create in this video. Exciting, creative, and different from everybody else. This is by far the best tutorial that you will find on YouTube on how to create a website for your digital marketing agency. For an agency website this professional, web design agencies or professional freelancers like myself are going to charge you upwards of $10,000 for a website like this. However, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how you can create websites exactly like these in less than 2 hours and for less than $200. You also don't need to know how to code, and you don't need to have any experience in building websites. All you need to do is follow along with this tutorial and you will walk away with a beautiful and professional website for your agency. All I ask is that for the plugins and hosting that we will need for this website, that you use the links down in the description, as those are affiliate links and I will earn a small kickback at no extra cost to you. Without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. Now, the very first thing that we need to do is actually get hosting. Hosting is what is actually going to allow us to install WordPress, get access to WordPress, and more importantly, put our website live. Now, I have tested so many different hosting providers over the years, and by far the best one that I have found is Hostinger. On top of this, if you do use that top link in the description, you will be able to get up to 75% off your hosting plan. And to do this, all we need to do is go down to this claim deal button right here. And that is going to take us down to this area where we can now pick a plan. Now we have 3 different plans to choose from. We have the premium, the business, and the cloud startup. Now, I would personally recommend everybody watching this to go for the business plan right here. And the main reason is because to actually create the agency websites that we are going to create, we are going to install a pretty significant theme template in order to do this. This theme template is what is really going to take this from a normal average looking agency website to some of the agency websites that you saw at the start of the video. Now, because this is a quite significant plugin, what I have found when trying this out with premium in the past is that this standard performance can't really keep up with the plugin. What I found was when I visited the website and kind of tested it, the load time for the animations and each page was pretty slow. Whereas with the business, this pretty much fixed all of those issues because of this increased performance up to 5x. Now, I have absolutely stress tested this. I have tried the main plugin that we are going to be using in this video, alongside a bunch of other plugins that I tried on the website. The business plan was able to handle absolutely all of these with no issues, and I did not see any kind of speed difference between the business and cloud startup. The main thing that you are getting between these is going to be a jump from 100 websites to 300 websites, which we just don't need. And then you also get the dedicated IP address with this cloud startup, which once again for an agency website we do not need. So I'm going to go for the business right here. This is the one I would recommend you to get. So let's add this to the cart. And then that is going to take us over to this screen right here, where we can now choose a period. Now the 12 months, the 24 months, and the 48 months, all of these options are absolutely fine. You can go with any of these. The only one that I wouldn't recommend is this monthly plan right here. The first reason is this is just a lot more expensive, $13.99 per month as opposed to $4.99 per month. On top of this, we don't get a free domain with this monthly plan, and we need to pay a $4.99 setup fee. So already straight out of the gate with this monthly plan, the actual monthly cost plus this setup fee is taking us to almost $20. Plus the fact that we also need to buy a domain on top of this. If you already have one, then this is not really an issue, but your domain is usually going to cost you $15 if you do not yet have one. This means that if you don't need to buy a domain, then you are paying $20 in your first month. If you do need to buy a domain, you are paying $35 in that first month. Then we need to pay $13 per month every month after, so it really isn't the most cost-effective option. With the 12-month plan, we are going to be paying $60 for the entire year, and we don't need to pay a setup fee. We also get the domain included. So as I say, any of these options are really valuable. It just depends how long you are going to keep the website for. If you know for a fact that you are going to keep your website for the next 4 years, then the 48 months is going to work out cheaper. However, in this example, this is just a tutorial video, so I'm going to go with the 12-month plan right here. Then we can go down and create your account. So just enter in an email and then create a password. And then we can go down to the payment section. So you can pay with any of these options right here. And then all you need to do is fill in this payment information, click on submit secure payment, and that is exactly what I will do right now. This is then going to redirect us to the control panel, so it may take a few seconds here. And just like that, it's going to load in. So from here, just click on start now, and then it's going to ask who are you creating the website for. So you can choose whether you are creating this website for yourself, which I'm assuming you are, but you can also choose if you are creating it for somebody else. So I'm just going to say I'm creating this for myself. And then we want to choose here, I'm building it myself. It's then going to ask what type of website do you want to build? And of course, we are going to click on portfolio. And then it's going to say, do you need help building your website? So right here, just click on no thanks, I know what I'm doing, as you will be able to follow this tutorial. This next screen is going to ask us if we want to create or migrate a website. Now, website migration is if you have a website with another hosting provider that you want to transfer over to Hostinger. This is not what we are doing. Of course, we are creating a new website. So let's go ahead and click into this. Next, it's going to ask if we want to build the website with the Hostinger AI or WordPress. Now, I've used this in the past and it's not the best website builder. So of course, we are going to go with WordPress right here. Let's go for select. And now it's going to ask us to create login details for WordPress. So at the top here, just select the language. Usually it will be auto-selected. Then the administrator email is automatically going to be selected as the email you created your Hostinger account with. So once again, we just want to leave this as it is. And then we can go ahead and create our administrator password for WordPress. Once that has been entered, we can click on continue right here. And it's going to ask us if we want to add any of these plugins. Now, I do not recommend adding any of these. It's like when you get a new phone or a new laptop or computer and it comes with a bunch of pre-installed apps that you don't really want. Effectively, these plugins will pay Hostinger to automatically put them in. However, having all of these just slows down the website, and the majority of these we don't need. So for these plugins, just click on skip. I will manage plugins later. And it's now going to ask us which template we want to use. So on this screen, just click skip. I don't need a template here at the bottom. It's then going to ask to automate text creation with AI. Once again, we will sort out all of the content creation and everything that we need when we can actually see the website and we can see what we are doing. So let's click on skip. I will write content later. And right here, we now get to name the website. So if you went with the yearly plan, which I recommended, we can now go ahead and claim a free domain. So right here, we want to click on select. And under here, we can choose a desired domain. Now, if you went with the monthly plan, you can also go ahead and buy a domain here. But let's go ahead and claim a free domain. Now, before we even enter the name of the domain, if we go to the end here, we can choose what kind of domain this is. Now, the only type of domain that we want here is a .com domain. So click this drop-down menu and then select .com right here. I'm just going to call this GeForce North, and we can see this domain is available. So once you have found your domain, just click on continue right here. And then it's going to ask for a few more details. So we just enter in the country, whether this is personal or company. It doesn't really matter what you select here. Then we can click next step. And then it's just going to ask for some contact details. Once this is entered, we can click on finish registration, and that is going to connect the domain to your website. And as you can see, this is now going to register that domain. We are going to get final confirmation right here with your domain. So just make sure this is correct and it has the .com domain.
and then click on Finish Setup. It's then going to initialize setup, so once again, this may take a few seconds. And just like that, it says, well done, you are ready. So we can now either go to the control panel or edit the website with WordPress. Now, the first thing that we want to do is just go to the control panel. There is a few settings that we need to tweak here. So just go into Manage Site. And then the first thing that we need to do is just make sure that we have SSL protection. Now, SSL, if I go up here, is, as you can see, the connection for Hostinger is secure. And this is the SSL certificate right here. Now, what this means is if you do not have SSL certificate on your own website, when people try to access your website, it's going to give them a message that looks like this. So it is super important that we make sure this is on. Now, all Hostinger domains and hosting comes with free SSL. We just need to make sure this is enabled. So go over to security on this left-hand side, and then down here to SSL. As you can see, we have lifetime SSL and the status is active. If for whatever reason it's not active, you can click on these three dots and then just go ahead and activate it over here. Once we have checked SSL and made sure that is turned on and secured, the next thing that we need to do is verify the email for your domain. So if we just go back to the main dashboard right here on the left hand side, you can see that the domain is active right now. However, if we click into manage right here, you can see it says your domain is pending verification. So if you just go over to the email that you signed up for Hostinger with, you should have an email that looks just like this. So all we need to do is click on this link right here. Go ahead and open that up. And then as you can see, the email address has been verified successfully. So if we now close both of these down and hit refresh, you can see the email verification status is now verified and we now have the email good to go. So if we now go back over to the main Hostinger dashboard right here, and then as you can see at the top, we have the admin panel for WordPress. So we just want to go ahead and click into this, and this is now going to take us over to the WordPress admin area. So we now have WordPress fully installed and we are now in the WordPress dashboard. Now, before we go ahead and do absolutely anything else, the first thing that we need to do is just make life a little bit easier as we go throughout this tutorial. So what we want to do is just go over here on the left-hand side of the WordPress dashboard, click into the dashboard option right here, and that is going to take you over to the main WordPress dashboard. Now, up here at the top, you should see your domain name, and then it should say something along the lines of wp-admin/index.php. Now, all we need to do is right here where it says index.php, just delete this. So the domain should now say your domain name /WordPress-admin, just like this. Hit enter, and then that's just going to refresh the page and take us over to the same area. However, the reason that we did this is because we now want to bookmark this page so that we can easily get back to the WordPress dashboard at any time with just the click of a button. So all I'm going to do is go up to these three dots right here in Chrome, then go down to bookmarks and lists, and then click on bookmark this tab. So just like that, this page is now saved to the bookmarks bar. I can click on done. And then if I go ahead and open a new tab, this right here is the WordPress dashboard. So let's just click on this. And just like that, I can now get back to the WordPress dashboard in just one click. So I'm just going to close these tabs right here so that this is much easier and we only have one tab open. Now, the next thing that we need to do is install the essential plugin that we need in order to create these beautiful agency websites. So to get access to this theme, click on the second link in the description. It will be titled Zermatt theme. So go ahead and open that up, and this will take you over to this page right here, and this is the exact theme that we need. So all we need is the regular license. We can see this is $80, which realistically is super cheap for the things that we are able to do with this.
And this theme does all of the heavy lifting and allows us to easily create these beautiful agency websites. So all we need is the regular license. You don't need the extend support for 12 months. You absolutely can if you want to, but this is just going to give you access to the Zermatt help desk if you need any help down the road. Now, as you are watching this tutorial, I very much doubt you will need that. So all we need to do is click on add to cart. Then once again, they are going to ask if you want to extend this support, but just click on go to checkout. In here, we then want to enter in the payment information. Then once you have bought the theme, it's going to take you over to a page that looks like this, and this now says payment complete. And then further down, we have this green button that will allow you to download the plugin. As you can see, that has now been downloaded, and we can see this in the download section. However, what I found, and this was super strange the first time I tried to use this, is the downloaded file that they give you initially. This will just not work when you try to put this into WordPress. It gives you this error message and says that it couldn't be installed. It's super easy to fix this, and all you have to do is go over to the email that you used when purchasing the theme, and you should have an email that looks like this. It should say your order, and then you have a green button right here that says my downloads. So simply just click into this, and then this is going to take us back over to the marketplace, and we can see the Zermatt agency theme right here. So all we have to do is click on this green download button, and then instead of downloading the all files and documentation, this is the one they initially give you, the one that doesn't work. So instead, we want to go for this installable WordPress file only. So just go ahead and click on this, and then that's automatically going to start this download. So once that has downloaded, we can go back over to the WordPress dashboard right here. Once again, if you're struggling to navigate this, remember to get back to the WordPress dashboard. All you now have to do is open a new tab, click on the bookmark that we just made, and this is going to take us over to the WordPress dashboard. Now to go ahead and actually install the theme that we just purchased into WordPress, all we have to do is go over to the left-hand side, this big menu right here, click into the appearance button, and then once this loads up, you should see we currently have 3 different themes. Now, we are not going to be using any of these. Instead, go up to add new theme, this button at the top, and then you can see this changes to upload theme. So from here, we can then click into upload theme, then choose file right here, and make sure the file that you drop into here is the new one that we just installed from that download section, and not the initial one that they give you when you first bought the theme. And if you are unsure as to which one is the WordPress theme and which one is the original, it doesn't really matter. You can absolutely try both. If it's the wrong one, then it will give you this message and say that the theme was unable to install. However, if it was the right one, then you will get this message right here that says theme installed successfully. Now, at the bottom here, we have 3 options. We have live preview. Now, if we go ahead and open this, you will see this looks absolutely terrible right now. There's no worries about that. It's supposed to look this way because we haven't fully activated the theme yet. So just click on activate right here. And then you can see it says welcome to Zermatt 1.5. We have a lot of required plugins to install from here. And if we click into install, these are all of the different plugins that we need to install with Zermatt. So you can probably see at this point why I recommended the business plan and not the starter plan for your WordPress hosting, because this is a lot of plugins, and as I said, the starter plan can't really handle all of them. Now, to go ahead and install them, all we need to do is go to this bulk actions button, click on this drop down menu, and then flick this to install. So this should now say install, and then click on this box right here next to this plugin text, and then all of these are going to be automatically highlighted. So from here, we can then click apply, and this is now going to go ahead and install all of those different plugins. So it might take a few seconds. As you can see, it's installing them one by one. And then once they have all been installed, it will say all installations complete. And then we can click this text right here that says return to required plugins installer. Now it's going to take us back to this page. However, instead of installing them like we just did, all of these are now installed. Instead, we need to activate them. So once again, go to this bulk actions button. And then instead of install or update,
we want to click on activate. Then once again, click on this checkmark icon next to plugin. Then we can click on apply. And that is going to activate all of those plugins. So once you have done this, it should then take you through to this screen that says no plugins to install, update, or activate. So now we can just click on return to the dashboard. Once we click on this, it's now going to ask us to set up an Elementor account. This is Elementor right here, and this is a much better page builder. It allows you to drag and drop and really take your customization to the next level. And it is a lot better than the standard WordPress web builder. So once you are on this screen, all we are going to do is click on create my account. And then it's going to say, let's connect your site. So we can click on connect. And then it says every site starts with a theme. It's going to try to get us to switch to this hello theme. This is not what we need. So click on skip right here. Then you can give your site a name. I'm just going to leave this as the same I created the website with. However, if you do want to change your site name or give it a site name right here, just type it into this box. Then we can click on next. It's then going to ask for a website logo. Now, don't worry, we will add the website logo at the end, and we do not need to worry about that right now. So we can click on skip right here. And then it says that to wrap, what next? There are two ways to get started with Elementor. So on this screen, we can once again click on skip. And this is going to take us into the Elementor builder right here. So all we need to do from here is just click on this eye icon at the bottom that says preview changes. And then from here, just click on this WordPress button in the top left corner. Now this is going to take us back over to the WordPress dashboard. So let's exit out of that previous tab. And now down here, now we have set everything up, you should see these new options that have popped up in the WordPress dashboard for the Zermatt dashboard, QI blocks, and QI add-ons for Elementor. Now, you don't need to worry about what these actually mean. I will walk you through all of this step by step. So first of all, let's click into the Zermatt dashboard right here. So as you can see, we now need to enter in the registration. And the reason that they do this is with the file that we installed earlier, you could just send this to random people and they will be able to install this. However, with the registration, this is a one-time code that is going to show Zermatt that you actually purchased this. So the way that we actually find and get that code is, once again, let's open up a new tab. And we want to once again open up the email that you used when purchasing your theme. So right here, we can see the email that I received. We want to go back into that email, just like we did when we installed the initial download. And then from here, we once again want to click on this My Downloads button. And that is going to take us back over to Envato Market and take us over to this download area once again. So from here, we can click on this green download button in the middle. And if you remember before, we installed this installable WordPress file only. However, right now, we are going to install this license certificate and purchase code. Remember, we need the purchase code. So let's download this as a PDF. And then this is going to download right here. So we can then go ahead and open the file that has just downloaded. And then you can see it gives us all of this information right here, including the item purchase code. Now, I'm going to blur mine out for obvious reasons, but all we need to do is simply highlight the purchase code and then copy this. Then we can go back over to the WordPress area that we just were, paste this into the purchase code, and then we also want to enter in the email that we used when purchasing the theme. From here, we can then click on the register theme button. It's going to say, please wait. And just like that, it's going to say you have successfully registered your copy of the theme. So awesome. Let's now close out of all of those other tabs that we just opened. Now, if we scroll down here, usually you are going to have this error right here that says the PHP post max size, the current value is insufficient. Now, if you do not see this, if this is just not on your screen, then absolutely perfect. You can skip along to the next section of this video. However, for 99% of people, you are going to get this error. So let's go ahead and fix that. All we need to do is open up a new tab and go back over to Hostinger. Once we are on Hostinger, we can simply click on login in this top right corner and then log in to your Hostinger account.
Once you have logged in, it's going to take you over to this page right here. And then you should see this hosting option in the middle. Just go ahead and click into manage. Now, this is going to take us over to the websites area. So from here, we can click into the file manager right here in the middle. Then that's going to open. From here, click into this top one, public_HTML. Double click into this. And then we have this option right here that says .ht access. Now, this kind of looks like it's not clickable, but don't worry. All we have to do is right click on this, then go to edit right here. And that is going to open up all of this code. Now, don't worry. This is actually super simple because all you have to do is go down to the description of this video. And in there, I will leave this piece of code right here. It says php_value space post_max_size 256n. Now I will title this HT access code. So go down and find that in the description. Then you can simply copy that in right there and then click on the save button in the top right corner. Now, just to make sure this has worked before we go back, let's go over to WordPress right here and we can now see that error has gone. Now, if the error is still there, just click on refresh and then it should be updated like this, where we no longer have that red number and we no longer have that text telling us that we need to change it. So that is perfect and that is all now set up. So let's exit out of Hostinger and then the file access. And the next thing that we are going to do is take a look at the template that we can choose from and allow you to choose from one of these different agency templates to do most of the heavy lifting for you when creating one of these beautiful websites. So all we have to do is go over to, once again, where it says Zermatt dashboard. And in here, we want to go to import. So click on import right here. And then you can see this is the import section where we can import demo content. Now, if I actually open this back up on ThemeForest, let me show you the different templates that we can choose from. And then I will show you how we can install these onto your website. So these are the options that we have to choose from. We have this one, Digital Studio, and I'm just going to scroll down and show you all of the different templates that we can choose from. Now, you can absolutely customize any of these templates in absolutely any way. And that is really what I love so much about this theme and these templates. Even if you are an SEO agency, we can easily customize this theme right here using the Elementor drag and drop editor to turn this into effectively anything that you want to. So what I'm now going to do is go through each of these templates individually, show you through the full spectrum of how each template looks, and then this is going to allow you to get a better idea of which template you want to use and install onto your website. So first of all, we have this Brutalism template right here, or Brutalism Mind, I think it's called. A very nice agency template right here, and definitely one of the easiest to transform into any kind of agency. So with this one, if you are a digital marketing agency or an SEO agency, this is one of the easier templates that you will be able to work with in order to create your website specifically for that agency. For example, some of the other ones, like this Digital Studio and this one right here, are definitely more suited for creative agencies or something along those lines. But with this one right here, this is really suited for any kind of agency. So I'm just going to slowly go through right here. We have this top title page with a very cool font. Then we have this section where we can really customize this, add any icons up here, and have these 4 different text sections. Whether you want to mention what the agency does, you can even mention clients here, or you could just mention 4 benefits of working with the agency. We then move down and we have a portfolio section right here. We then have a little bit of information as well as services and awards the company has gained. We then have another portfolio or project section, I should say, down here. Some more awards, some client testimonials, an introduction to the team, and then just this little bit of text at the bottom mentioning that they are hiring. So that is the first template. We then have Digital Studio. Now, this can work for any agency, but once again, this is more suited to design agencies or creative agencies. However, if you really did want to go with this template, you can customize this into anything that you wanted to. So we have this beautiful screen at the top. Then we have this kind of portfolio section right here showing some more projects. This section showing the clients that they have worked with, then some information about the agency. Another portfolio section right here showing off their works. Accolades and awards section. We then have some blog posts down here. So all of these are blog posts. If we open this in a new tab, then we have some blog posts. And down here, we just have subscribe to our newsletter, and that is that template. Now, the next template is this personal presentation. Once again, this is a super easy template to really transform into any type of agency. So we can see right here, we have this very cool kind of colorful effect. Then we can see all of the services that this agency offer, any awards this agency has, and a very simple homepage for this website right here. So I really like that one. Then we can go back. Interactive showcase. Now, once again, this is definitely more for a creative or photography agency. This is simply the website right here. You can't scroll any further. And if you scroll on any of these options right here, it's going to move along and bring us up these different kind of images and these different effects when we look over each client. So in here, we could click into Matterhorn, for example. I'll just open this in a new tab. And then it's going to take us over to this section where we can write a case study or a testimonial for this client. So this is another beautiful website right here. But once again, very exclusively with this one, if you are not a design or creative agency, I would stay away from that one. Then we can go down to portfolio categories. This is another very simple but effective website. Nothing flashy at all. And this is just showing all of the clients that they have worked with. So this is a very bold statement, in my opinion, if you are an agency and you really need to have some top level client to be able to pull this off. But if you do, if you have clients that people will come here and say, wow, I don't need to know anything else about this agency. If they have worked with XYZ, then they must be fantastic. So that is that website right there. And then we have animated projects. Right here, we can see this. And then if we scroll down the website or attempt to scroll, it's just going to move along to some of these beautiful images right here. So this one right here is definitely going to be more focused on case studies. So really, no matter what type of agency you are, whether you are a marketing agency, a creative agency, if you have some fantastic case studies that you want to share on your website, this is an absolutely fantastic option. We then have this architecture studio. So this one right here is another template that is really available for anybody to turn into any type of agency. We can scroll down here and just see some beautiful images, some projects that they have worked on, a little bit of information about these projects, the architects that work there, and then some blog posts right here. So that is that template. Then we have the art gallery right here. Once again, definitely more towards a creative agency or something along those lines. We have just a picture right here. We have a very effective headline at the top, as well as a date. We then have some blog posts right here, the opening times. We can then scroll down, view all of these different projects or client testimonials. Any news, or once again, these are blog posts. Upcoming event. Take a tour around the area. Past exhibitions, and then down here we have a volunteers needed, contact us. You can also use this divided portfolio option right here, where once again we just have a very simple picture on this left hand side with the menu right here so people can click around to the website. And then once again we are just showing off clients' testimonials, different case studies, clients that we have worked with, and this is once again a very case study focused design. Then we have a conference. And in my opinion, this is definitely the easiest to navigate. If you don't want to spend too long creating your website, you want this up in maybe half an hour, then this is probably the best option no matter what industry you are in. So right here, we just have a logo, a very effective title, a date right here. Then we can scroll down, just see some information, and you can really fill this up with anything. So once again, we could list the benefits of working with the company, you could list your ad spend, you could list the amount of impressions. Effectively anything on this website is super customizable. And just looking at this right here, this is another fantastic option. Then we can close this. Then we just have this arts and culture. I'll kind of speed through these now to keep up. I think you guys have an idea. I just want to show you the rest of these templates right here. So this is the art magazine culture. And then this is the studio minimal right here. In my opinion, I wouldn't really use the bottom two. I don't really think they have as much effect, or they definitely don't look as good as the ones above. But those are all of the designs right here. Now beneath this, each of these designs is going to show what they are called. And you need to remember what your design is called when we go back over to WordPress to actually import this. So once you know the name of the template that you want to install, we can then go back over to where we were on this import screen. And then all we have to do is go to select import option right here, click on this drop down menu, and then go down to single page. Then we can see select page to import. And down here, you can enter in the name of the page that you would like to import. So I'm going to go for the main home page, this Brutalism Mind. So let's go up here and I'm going to type in main home. And then if you were going, for example, let's go back here. Let's say that you wanted the divided portfolio. Then you can simply go here and type in divided portfolio. Once that is selected, let me just go back here a second to main home. And then we can click on import. It's then going to say, are you sure you want to import demo data now? Click on OK. And that is going to import the demo data extremely quickly. So I'm currently in the process of editing this video. This is added in after this was all recorded. But one important thing that I want to mention here is if you install some kind of template or one of these single pages that you are going to use for the homepage on your website, and you notice that for some reason it's a little bit broken or there's a feature that isn't there, then what you want to do is go back to this import area and then import all right here. So instead of just importing the single page, go ahead and import all. The only kind of downside to this is going to take some time to actually import all of this. So once again, I would start with the single page and then just choose the exact template you are looking for. But then if there's a feature that isn't there that you saw earlier on, then just go back here, import all of these, and that should then fix that and allow that feature to be there. Now that we have imported our template, before we actually go and open up the website, because right now, if we go to visit the website, we are going to be taken over to this same boring page. So to actually get the template that we just installed onto this homepage, what we are going to do, let's just go back to WordPress, is over here on the left-hand side, hover over settings, and then once this menu opens, click into reading right here. This is going to open up the reading area. And then right here at the top, it says your homepage displays. So we want to flick this from your latest posts to a static page. And then for the homepage, we want to click this drop down menu. And right here should be the page that you just installed. So we can then enter this and click save changes. Once that is saved, we can go to our website right here. And boom, just like that. This is now giving us the beautiful loading screen, and just like that, I now have my template installed on my website. So now you have your theme installed, we have the template installed. Let's now go ahead and start customizing this to make this your own website. So first of all, before we even go in and edit this page, we want to go to the Zermatt core options. So right here along the top, we can see Zermatt core options. Right click on this, and then click open link in new tab. The reason that we do this is because we want to be able to make changes right here. However, we also want to be able to go back over to the agency website at any time and see a real life update on how these changes are going to affect the site. Now, with the Zermatt core options, there is not a lot that we can do here in terms of customizability, but there is a few things that it's really nice to get out of the way. So first of all, let's go to general on this left-hand side. And right here, we can choose the main color or the most dominant theme color. Now, feel absolutely free to play around with any of these options. You absolutely can. And then if you don't like something, all you have to do is click reset all right here. And it's going to reset all of those changes and give you back the original template. So for example, right here, we can go to main color. and let's set this to red. Then we can click Save Changes. And now if we go back over, let's hit refresh. We can see this loading screen has changed right here. If you remember, this was black before. And that is pretty much it. With these Zermatt core options, they just give you little tweaks and they don't majorly impact the website. So just to show you that once again, let's change this to green, for example. And then the major thing that this is going to change is just this section down here. So it can be very nice to change this to be more congruent with your website. For example, if you have a very vibrant green website, then you might want to change this area right here. So I'm just going to set this to, let's go back to black for now, and then save changes. Then we have the page background color. Now this is going to make quite a significant difference. If we change this to black, for example, we can go save changes. And it actually doesn't look like it makes a huge difference on this specific theme. However, one that I know it does is the Digital Studio. It makes a huge difference on that theme. So I'm not going to spend too long on this general section. What I would recommend is just spend a little bit of time playing around with these, seeing what each of these sections do, seeing if you like them. And then if you don't, then there's not really any sweat because you can just reset this at any time. One thing that I will mention though, that is super cool is this custom cursor color. So by default, this is going to be red right here with the cursor on all of these sites. However, we can simply go up and change this to green, for example. Then if we go back over and refresh, you can see my cursor is now green right here. So once again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You can play through those yourself. And that is how you can use the core options area in general. Now, this next section is super important because this is where we can go ahead and create and edit the logo for our website. Now, if you already have a logo, fantastic. All you have to do is go to the main logo right here, then choose a main logo image. You can just click on upload, go upload files, and then upload your image. What I would also recommend doing is you can also upload a dark logo image. So what this means is, let's say that this website wasn't white and it was black. If you have a black logo right here, that's going to blend in and that's going to clash. So what you might want to do is, if your main logo is black, set the dark logo to white, and that means that the background won't clash. We can also go over to mobile header logo options, and super important, when you update and add your logo in here, make sure you also go over to this mobile header options and plug it into here as well. Then with these next sections, as I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail with these. In this example, you can go and add Google fonts. This is not something that I would personally spend much time on because you already have a lot of fonts that come with the website. Then typography is going to be pretty similar. You can set up all of the typography options right here. With header, you can adjust the header, which is this section along the top right here. You can change the angle of this, where this is located. We can also go into main menu settings. And once again, with all of these, I would just recommend playing around with them, really seeing what you like and what you really resonate with. However, this isn't the most important screen. What is far more important is, if we close this out, actually going in and editing this website. So for some reason, it looks like I've lost my WordPress bar along the top. So no worries, I'm just going to go back into the WordPress dashboard, open up the website once again. So once you are back over on your website, what we are now going to do is click into Edit with Elementor. And this is where we can really go ahead and start making these changes. Now, this is super simple. And what you will notice is a lot of the animations and the different things that were flying about or moving on your website are going to come to a standstill when we go into this Elementor editor. Now, before we go in and actually start making changes, I want to give you a quick walkthrough of the Elementor editor and exactly how this works so that you know exactly how you can edit your website. So the first thing to do is, usually you are already going to have the navigator on the right hand side. However, if not, if you don't see like a big box right here that says navigator, what we want to do is just go down to the left hand side and we can see this stacked pages icon that says navigator. So just go ahead and click on this and that's going to bring over this navigator to the right hand side. So from here, we can now see that this entire page is simply made up of different sections. If we click on a section, for example, we can see exactly what is contained in this section because it is everything between these two pink lines. So this pink line right here and this pink line right here make up this top section. Then the second section is between these two pink lines. The third section is between these two pink lines right here. This is a very strange section. And then these two pink lines, and so on and so forth. If we then go ahead, let's go to this top section and click on this arrow right here. This is going to break this down and show us that inside of this section, there is a column. So then we can click on the drop down arrow for the column to go even further. And we can then see the different individual elements that make up the column within this section. So for example, this custom font right here, this element right here is what says BRU. And this is contained inside of this column, inside of this section. Now, that is a very basic overview of the Elementor editor, and you don't even really need to understand this because of how simple the Elementor editor is. For example, let me just close this down and select a random section. All we have to do to make changes to effectively anything that you want to on your website is click into where you want to make the change. For example, right here, I want to change where it says brew. So sometimes it will be a little bit tricky. As you can see, if I go right over the brew, nothing is going to be selected here. However, if I move down to like this area, we can see it flash, and I now have those two pink lines. So that is the way that you can just click into these different areas right here. However, what I will say is when you use this method, sometimes there can be things in the way. Like right here, we have scroll down to explore. This element right here is in the way of this element, so I can't really access it. So if this is the case, then all we need to do is just open up whichever section this is in. So we can clearly see that mind right here is contained within this top section. So all we need to do is open up the section, then open up the column, and then we can click through the individual elements right here until we find the exact element that we are looking for. So once you have the element selected, what we can then do is use the main control panel on the right hand side to start making changes to this. So right here, I now have mind selected, and we can see the title text right here. This is what says mind. So I actually don't want to change this for now. I want to go to the top first. So I will select brew. Then we can see exactly what it says right here in the title text. And if I want to change this, all I have to do is highlight this, and then I can change this to say, let's go for G dash. Then we can click into this right here, this section. We will say this is false. And then for mind, remember once again, this is in the way, so I can't access it. So let's click on this using the right hand side. Then under mind, we can change this to say north. I left the M at the start there. And then now this is set up, what we can then do is click on update right here to save the changes. And then if we want to now view the website outside of the editor, all we have to do is click on this eye icon for preview changes. And this is going to load the new updated website in. So just like that, that has changed right there. And this now says GeForce North and looks absolutely beautiful. However, this doesn't really fit with my brand in terms of the colors. I don't really like this black and dark scale. So what I'm going to do is go back over to the editor. And in here, once again on the left-hand side, once we have selected the element that we want to edit, this is where we make all of the changes. So I've selected this G at the top. We can then go down to typography on this left-hand side. And in here, this is where we can change the font size. If this is too big or too small, we can update that right here. We can change the line height. We can change the font weight, the style, the transform, and all of that good stuff. But what I'm going to do is I want to change this to a nice blue color, the same color as my logo. So I'm just going to go to the color icon, click into the color, and then I can choose what to set this font color as. Now, I love using this eyedropper tool right here. It's absolutely fantastic for copying colors off different websites or from logos.
And the way that you use this is you can just go pick color from web page, and then you can choose any color, and it's going to drop that exact color in. If you do think this tool will be useful, you can use the link down in the description to download this eyedropper tool. It's just a Chrome extension. So then I'm going to go for, actually no, let's set this to the darker blue, like this. And then I will have this as the lighter blue. So once again, we go over to the left-hand side, typography, paste this in. And then for this bottom one, back to the darker blue. I have no idea how this is going to look. This might look absolutely terrible, but it's worth a shot as these are my brand colors. So once again, I'm going to click update. Then we can go over to the website and see how this looks. Now, I think this looks okay. Let's actually go back in and maybe just change this to this color right here. Keep this all the same color. And that's going to look a lot better. So let's just update. And that is how you can edit text on your website. So already, just from me explaining how to do this, you already know how to use 80% of Elementor because it is literally that simple. All we have to do is if we want to edit this next area, we can simply click into each of these elements, like this one, for example, and then all the changes that we need to make, we are going to change using this main control panel on the left-hand side. So with the content, for example, let's go ahead and change this. And I'm going to set this up as if I am a marketing agency. So I can go to content on this left-hand side. And in here, we can change the title. So right now, this is titled as design. But I'm going to say 10 million ad spend, just like this. And then we can go down and add some text right here. So in this text section, this shows this big bulk of text right here. So all we have to do is delete this, and then we can fill this in with essentially whatever we want to. So just like that, I customized that text. And then what we can also do is change things like the title color. So in here, let's say we want this to be like this blue color right here. We can change that, and that is going to change. I'm just going to go back to the black that this was at. And then you will also notice that we have an icon on the top of both of these. So if we want to go ahead and change the icon, we just open up the icon area right here. Then we can go to icon type, and we want to change this. So right now this is set to SVG, and this is going to require a lot of code. And to be quite frank, I have no idea where to get this from. So to make this a lot simpler, all we are going to do is change this from SVG icon to icon pack. And then in here, it's going to give us a bunch of different icons to choose from. So first of all, we have to choose an icon pack. So we can go for like dripicons, elephant icons, font awesome. Let's go for dripicons. And then we can choose all of these different options. So with this one, this is ad spend. So we might want to go for like money. Doesn't look like this is available in this icon pack. So what we would do is we would then go through and we would look for the next one. This one doesn't have money either. Font awesome. Money bill we have right there. So we can enter that in. And that's going to show up along the top. Now you will notice this is a lot smaller than the other icons. So all we have to do is go to size right here. Make this huge. And just like that, that is now going to be set in. Now don't worry that this is smaller than the other icons, because we are going to go ahead and change these all to the same icon pack. So that's super important. Once you have selected one pack, to make all of the icons congruent, you want to make sure that you are selecting from the same pack. So we can go to this next one, and I won't bore you with filling in the text, but let's go to the icon. And if this is branding, let's go to icon pack. Then was it font awesome that we were on there? Let's just double check. Yeah, font awesome. So let's go back, font awesome. And in here, we can maybe go for like a phone, mobile phone right here for branding, as branding is mainly done on social media. Then for the size, we can set this to huge. And you can see these two icons right now are very, very congruent. So that is basically how you change all of these areas right here. We have some more text that we can go ahead and change. Then we can click into services, change all of this down here by simply clicking and dropping all of these in. So that is how you can make the main bulk of the changes to the website.
And although with different templates, the layout and the way things looks, the order of things is going to be slightly different, you will be able to do everything that you need to by simply following the concept of clicking and then changing everything that you need on this right hand side. However, something that is slightly different is if we go down to this section right here, we can see that this is a portfolio list. So with pretty much all of these templates, you are going to get a portfolio at somewhere on the website. And depending on how you imported it, you may already have a pre-built portfolio that is in here, or you might have what I have right here that says no posts were found for the provided query parameters. So what we actually need to do is set up the portfolio list. And the way that you do this is going to be the exact same way, no matter what template you are using. So if you have made changes to your website, make sure this is all updated. Then we can click on preview changes. Then we can back out. Let's go up to WordPress right here. And now we are back on the WordPress dashboard. So to actually go ahead and create our portfolio, over here on the left-hand side, you can see we have Zermatt portfolio. Now, if we click into this, once again, you might already have some posts in here, depending on how you imported things, or you might also have it how I do, where there's no posts. If you do have posts, then all you need to do is click this button, and then there should be a tab around here that will allow you to bulk delete all. So make sure they are all deleted. And then what we can do from here is before we actually create any posts, we want to go into tags and set this up. So you can set this up in different ways. For example, if you have different portfolios, if your agency offers different things, you might have, for example, a creative portfolio, you might have a web design portfolio, and you can create these all right here. So I'm just going to call this marketing. And then for the slug, you want to keep this the exact same as the name, but without any capital letters. So we can call this marketing. And then you can also add a description. However, as it says, it's not prominent, so we don't need to do this. Then we can click on add new portfolio tag, and this marketing is going to be created here. And then once again, if you have different sections or different portfolio categories you want to create, we could create a new one that is, for example, like design. And then we could go through the same process and add this in. So once you have your tags created, what we can now do is add in different posts that we are going to create. So in posts, this is where you want to create each of your case studies for the portfolio that we are going to be going for. So in this example, I'm going to create a case study for Coca-Cola. I have never personally worked with Coca-Cola. I'm strictly using this as an example. So in the title, we can just title this case study whatever we want to. I will just call this, let's say Coca-Cola. And then in here, we want to write out a paragraph and explain more about the case study. So we can add that in right there, and it's completely up to you. You can make this as short or as long as you like. And what I would do is I would make this short at first and really see how this looks on your site. And then you can make this longer if you want to. But we can just enter that in there. And then we can also create an excerpt if we want a shorter version of this. But the most important section is going to be down here. So in this section, this is where we want to go to media settings. And this is the media that will be displayed on the portfolio page. So if I just go back to the theme right here, let's go to live preview, and I will show you an example of how this looks. So if we go over to the portfolio section of this one, we can see the images are going to show up right here. And once again, we can customize this to have this text like on the side or on top or at the bottom. We can fully customize this, but this is just an example. So the images are going to show up here, and then we have a title as well as some text. So let's go back. Let's close these down, go back, and we can add in the media that we want to show on this portfolio page specifically. So I just grabbed a few images of Coca-Cola from this website right here called Pexels. It's completely free, royalty-free images that you can use commercially. Now, something I want to mention here that is super important is we need to make sure that all of the images we have are the same size. If they are not, then you're going to get like different SKUs and different sized images, and it's going to make this look super, super unprofessional. So to get around this and to resize them all in the same way, we want to go over to this website right here called Canva. Now this is completely free. You do not need to get the pro version. And all we are going to do is click on create a design. And then we can go to custom size right here. Now this is completely up to you to set the custom size. You can either make these like vertical, you can make these horizontal, you can make these square. It's completely up to you. But I'm just going to set this to, let's go for 1080 by 720, just like this. Then we can create a new design. And just like that, this design is going to pop up. So what I'm now going to do is import all of the images that I want to add to this portfolio section in, just like that. And then I can click on them and resize them in Canva to make sure they take up the entire width. So this is the first one right here. And then all we need to do is click on share, go to download, and then download this file. Then we can do the same for this next one. Make sure this takes up the full width. Share, download, download. Do the same with this one. Share, download, and download. So we now have all of those images right there. You can really add as many images as you like. But all we need to do is go to media settings and we want to upload these individually. So for media item type, we want to set this to image, then upload portfolio image. We want to go here and upload all of these just like this. So once these images have loaded in, we want to select this first one, then click select image. Then we can go add new media. Once again, set this to image, upload, and then grab the second one, select image, and go down and add the third one in the same way. So we now have all of these images right here. And then we can also go into info settings, and you can also display info on the portfolio page. So for this one, for example, we have some information down here. So we have like client, we have category, and then we have tags. So in this example, once again, I can add this in as client and then say Coca-Cola. And then we can also add in an item link, but I'm going to leave this. And then we can actually delete this. I don't want to add in any more, just that one. Then we can scroll up. All of this is now added in. So then the final thing that we need to do is set a featured image. Now the featured image is the thing that's going to show up. Let me go back to the main homepage. This is what is going to show up as like this standalone image right here on the homepage or the portfolio page on your website. So you want to make sure that this is the best image possible. So let's go back. And for the set featured image, I'm going to go for this one right here. I think this one looks the best. So let's go set featured image. And then the final thing that we need to do is just go up to tags and make sure this is tagged in the right area. So I'm going to set this as marketing, of course. Then we can click on publish. And just like that, this portfolio item is now created. So before we even add this to the page, we can click on view and see how this is going to look. So right now you can see this is laid out just like this, where we have these 3 different images that are down and then all of the information underneath. However, if you would like it to be more like this, where you have kind of like these scrolling images that go along, then very simple to change. All we need to do is just go back. And then right here, we can go down to single layout. And then from here, we can choose from like a gallery view. We can choose from a masonry view or a slider view. And each of these are going to be different. So as an example, I will just set this to gallery. And then if we go back in, you can see that's going to change the layout right here. So that's how you can set up the portfolio or the portfolio pages. And then of course, if you want to go back and add more, we just go to add new post and you can just go back and watch that last section. It's set up in the exact same way. However, we now need to add this to the homepage of the website. So if we now go back over to the homepage, let's then go back into edit with Elementor. And we can scroll down and actually now add this in. So if you remember, right here is the portfolio list. If you're not sure where the portfolio list is on your website, then just open up all of these sections and then you can simply go down, open all of these up and just look for the portfolio list. So for example, mine is right here, I can see.
And then over on this left-hand side, this is where we are going to make the main changes. So before we start messing around with any of the other settings, let's go in and first of all, add the case studies and portfolio that we have. So all we are going to do is go to General right here and click on this to send this back up. Then we can go down to Query. And right here, this is where we can set this. So under here, we want to make sure that additional params is set to taxonomy slug. Then taxonomy, we set to portfolio tag. And then all we need to do is let's open up a new tab, go back to the WordPress dashboard, then go into portfolio right here and go down to the portfolio tags that we set up earlier. Then all we need to do is find the slug, copy this, and then we can go back over to the homepage and paste this into taxonomy slug. So we can delete this and then paste this in. And just like that, this is now going to show up. Now, this would look a lot better if I had created 4 different case studies, because right now this is set to 4 posts per page. So let's just set this to 1. And then we can go ahead and play around with some of the other settings. So in here, we have like, if you want to enable borders, if you want to enable light skin, the appearance. So we can change this from like a gallery to a masonry that's going to look like this, to a slider, which is going to show like this. So let's set the number of columns to just 1. And then like this already looks a lot better and it's going to slide a lot. So once again, in this area, this is just something that you really want to play around with. You can play around with all of these different settings right here and make the portfolio section really look like you want it to look. However, before playing around with these, what I would recommend doing is making sure that all of your different portfolio areas are set up. You have all of these different case studies already, so you can see how the final thing will look on your website. But that is the portfolio section right there. This is pretty simple. It's just the same editor that we've used with the drag and drop. And then for here, we can also set up the team. By the way, if any of these sections you want to delete entirely, for example, if you don't want to show your team, you can just click on this X icon and delete this area entirely, just like that. But I want to go back, and if we do want to add a team in right here, then once again, all we have to do is go back over to WordPress, and over here on the left-hand side, we have the team. So very similar once again, how we can set all of this out. We just add a new post, and then we can name this person. So let's say this is Simon Jones. Then we can enter the team member role. So we will say CEO, like that. Then down here, you can also add social networks. So if you want to add the different social media channels of your team members, you can add this in right here. We can also choose an icon. So in here, maybe we want to go for like Instagram. Does this show up here? Not in this one. And then this one does have Instagram. So we could set up Instagram right here. Then we could set the icon link to be his Instagram page. So we would just paste the URL in and then click add new network. And then that would be set up. Now, more importantly, we need to add a picture for this team member. And once again, the way that we do this is by going to set featured image. Then we can upload files, select this, and then set this as the featured image. Then we can go up and click on publish. And then if we go back over to the website now, the editor, once again, we can set this up on the left-hand side. So we would just go down to query, and then we actually need to set up a slug once again. So the way that we do this is just by going over, going to team categories, and then in here, we can just call this like team. If you have different levels of team or different areas that you would like to add, then you can add this in here once again. But I'm just going to set these both to team. Then I now actually need to go back to Simon and set him to team. Then we can go update. And now if we go back to the website, I'm just going to set this to team like that. And boom, that is then going to be added in. Once again, you want to make sure that you do have multiple members added in here. Otherwise, this is just going to duplicate. But that's how you can add in the team section right there. Now, it's the same for clients. So if we wanted to add in a client section, we can add in like clients list. Then we can add this in like down here. If we want to add in a clients list, the way that we do this is the exact same, where we go to clients right here. We can then create a category for each of our clients, add a new post, and the way you set this up is the same way. Make sure to add a featured image that's going to show up. You can then add a title and then add all of the information that it's going to show right here. So we would want a logo, then a link to their website, then you can click on publish, and then you can add the client section in right there. And that is basically how you can create the entire homepage and the portfolio pages, the client pages of your website. The only thing that I'm going to touch on now, and I'm going to keep this super short and brief to respect your time, is going into other pages of the website. So, of course, you probably don't want just a homepage. Maybe you want an About Us page or something like that. But how do we go ahead and set these up? So once again, we can back out to the main WordPress dashboard. And then once you are here, the theme that we installed earlier makes this super simple, and we don't even have to build this from scratch. So all we have to do is go to the Zermatt dashboard and then import. And then in here, we can go select import option, single page, select page to import. We can search for About Me or About Us. So as this is an agency, I'm going to go for About Us, then OK. And now that has been installed, we can go over to pages on this left-hand side, all pages, and we can see the About Us page that we have just added. So we can now go in and click on view. And this is the standard About Us page right here. So once again, we can go edit with Elementor and then start editing all of this. We can make changes up here. We can make changes to this section. If we want to delete any sections, we can simply delete them right here. And once again, as I say, I don't want to spend too much time on this because by now you should have a pretty good understanding of how this Elementor editor works. And you probably don't need me at this point to walk you through step by step. So we can do this for any page. All we would have to do to add a Contact Us page, for example, is go down to the dashboard once again, then import, single page, and then go for like Contact Us. We can add this in, click on import, and then we can add this all together. The only thing that I will tell you how to do is how we can actually add these new pages to a menu on the website. So how can we add a menu up here so that people can easily navigate between these different pages? So the way that we do this is once again on your main homepage right here. Instead of going into edit with Elementor, instead we want to go to customize. Then in here, we can see over on the left-hand side, we have the option for menus. So we can go in here and then click create new menu. Then we just want to title this main menu, just like this. For the menu locations, set this to main navigation. Then we can click on next. And in here, we now want to add items. So from here, it should open up to this pages section. And then all we need to do is add the pages that we want to show on this menu. So I will just add all of these. You might have a Contact Us page that you can also add. And then once that is all added, we can click on publish. Once the website fully loads back in, we should now be able to see in this top corner right here, we have all of these pages that we can now click to and easily navigate between the different areas of the website. So that is how you can create a beautiful website for your digital marketing agency. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.